Yeah, it's on both of them. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to center stage for the singing of the national anthem by Army-Rotc Second Lieutenant Gwen Brackelarge for today's commissioning recognition ceremony.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you, Lieutenant. That was beautiful. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your patience. We had a couple out in traffic near the building, so we wanted to give them every opportunity to get here. So you've already been a fantastic audience. My name is Dr. Ken Johnson. I'm the Executive Associate Dean at the Dr. Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine's Tampa Bay Regional Campus. I'd like to thank you for being here as we celebrate our NSU Health Profession Scholarship recipients from the following colleges: the College for Psychological Studies, the College of Optometry, the College of Dental Medicine, and the College of Osteopathic and Allopathic Medicine. What if you found yourself at one of the most enjoyable top universities in America? And that's what we have done. What if that university, its board of trustees, president, vice presidents, provost, and deans had become one of the most veteran and military-friendly universities in America and perhaps the world? That place is here, our own Nova Southeastern University. Our goal today is to share with you that special love that where we cherish our military graduates and their families. Dr. Ron Shinai is the provost of Nova Southeastern University and a faculty member in the Department of Family Therapy in the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. 20 years ago, Dr. Shinai created the world's first online open access English language qualitative research journal, the Qualitative Report, and later launched its sister publication, the Weekly Qualitative Report. His web-based resources regularly rank in Google's top 10 for qualitative research sites. Dr. Shinai is also editor of the Journal of Marital and Family Therapy, the flagship journal of the American Association for Marriage and Family, and associate editor of the Family Business Review. In addition, he serves on the editorial boards of Qualitative Research in Psychology, Qualitative Social Work, International Journal of Collaborative Practices, the NSU University Journal of Faculty of Education, Counseling, Psychotherapy, and Health, as well as a founding editorial board member of Qualitative Inquiry. Please welcome Dr. Ronald Shanai.
Now I just say I was an influencer. So I have a few duties I have to do today. And, I first read the script and I read it really quick and it said, I saw singing and I go, oh boy, I can't do it, but I'm so glad that was me. I could never do that. Could you ever do that? And it's amazing. So I can barely speak, so we'll see how it goes today. So I have the first thing I need to introduce. You all are special here in the audience. And there's a few people I'd like you to get to know, and I'll introduce them. So first, as Dr. Johnson mentioned, we're very, very fortunate to have a wonderful board of trustees at Nova Southeastern University. We just had our retreat last weekend, and we have a member of our board with us today. It's Dr. Barry Silverman. Physician, real doctor, not like me, the PhD doctor. Also, my colleagues in the executive office, we have Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Harry Moon. And Chief of Staff, Terry Malarkey, Lieutenant Colonel, Army, retired. Where'd he go? Is he on duty? No, he's here. When he comes in, I'll introduce him again. Our keynote speaker today is Dr. William B. Parker, Captain U.S. Navy, retired. We also have U.S. Army-Rotc cadre Major Benjamin Wedlin. We also have special guest, Dr. Thomas Brown, Student Military Advisor for the Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine, retired. We have a lot of deans here today. I'm going to introduce 4 of them that are part of that we refer to as the deans of the commissioning students. First, Dr. Lane Wallace, Dean of the Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Karen Grosby, Dean of the College of Psychology. And Dr. Linda Rouse, Dean of the College of Optometry. Dr. Kaltman is not with you yet, but I'll pick him out when he comes in. So I have to send the President, George Hamberry's regrets. He will not be with us here today. He's a great president, but he's probably even greater husband. His wife had surgery yesterday, and so he's taking care of her. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I can tell you the research supports this finding. Happy wife, happy life. So you all should remember that should be part of your curriculum. So he's doing that today. So, but I want to share some of the thoughts that he normally shares, and maybe I'll just add a few of my own. I've been at the university a long time, and when I first got here, we had some involvement in education and collaboration with the different branches of the armed services. Dr. Abe Fischler was our president when I first got here. And I learned things about service members, opportunities, colleges, SOC, and then SOC-AD and SOT-NAV, all the higher education groups. I'm looking through here, I'm seeing we were approved to be on a submarine base in Rhode Island. So I said, Abe, how did we get to Rhode Island? He goes, well, I thought maybe we'd get some students one day. I said, okay. So we got more involved in military. And so NSU was one of the charter members of eArmy, Go Army Ed. I don't know if you've heard of that group you see on TV all the time. And so that kind of got us started getting back involved in providing service, but obviously the medicine, you've been doing this a long time. When Dr. Hamberry became president, this is something he's very passionate about. And it really goes back to a very early experience with his experience at Virginia Tech. And in terms of just how, the military training and how core, it's a bad pun, isn't it? But how central it was to Virginia Tech. And he said that made a big difference in his life in terms of obviously the training, but really the notion of leadership. And today, being commissioned, the leadership and what you're going to bring to your respective branches, that's part of a central value at NSU. And so he said, we've got to do more in those areas, and the term military friendly. And so over that time period, we started kind of, I would say, getting our act together when it came to this. So in 2015, we created the Veterans Resource Center. Dr. Kimberly Durham's not here today, but she was one of the folks that was instrumental in providing these kinds of services. We do all this kind of research, fancy names like analytics and things like that. We crunch big data, all those things. And in terms of the factors that really affect students' happiness at a university, there's really just three factors. One is financial, right? The idea about not only what it costs to go to university, but is a good return on investment. I think for you all, I think it was pretty good return on investment. The other is the academic quality. Right? We spend a lot of time doing the quality of the programs, the accreditation, the faculty, and so forth. Now, this may be something totally new to you, but students are people too. I know, it was like, wow. And so one of the other things that's really important is the quality of life. Students today are more concerned about, is this campus sustainable? We were talking the other day about, do we contract with minority companies and women-owned companies and so forth? The students really care about the decisions that the university makes. And they really care about having a place that they feel safe, that they feel comfortable, and they feel proud of being there. And so when you look at all the different segments of the population, President Hanbury felt we've got to do better when it comes to the quality of life for those folks that are in the military, either active or retired, or will be going in there like you all in terms of this commissioning. And so that's where the Veterans Resource Center started doing that. And then in 2019, we chartered the U.S. Army ROTC program, and we just had their first commissioning. It was last week we did that. Had four that finished it. Their first salute and all those kind of things. You've been saluted quite a while, but that was their first salute, and it's really kind of neat. And it's a very emotional thing. And that's what's so important about today is that we're very social people, and we have this language thing. We communicate, right? But it's also important the rituals, the symbols, the way we communicate, what these things mean, are all ways that we communicate, and that's why you do these kind of commissioning events. This is a recognition. This is, we all come together and we all witness these sorts of things. And so that was absent as far as from a military perspective. Now, if you drive on campus, have you been to the far east part of the campus and the flags that we have there? Have you seen that? That's probably the second most popular photo op. The shark is number one, and then those flags are number two. And it's that kind of presence, nonverbal communication, the phone call not made is important, right? And having those symbols there, having these kinds of events symbolizes what we value. And we value what you all contribute, right? Many branches, one tree, right? One NSU. I think that was that little logo up there that we had up there. So we also then created the U.S. Military Office, and that's an umbrella that involves all of our military activities. And so, as I said, we had the ROTC one last week. In the future, if President Hanbury was here, I don't want to say we have a drinking game, but he says a lot of things a lot of times. And one of the things he says really quite often is one NSU, right? And so the idea being that we come together, all the deans working together, all the faculty working together, all of you working together, because that's the only way you're successful in a business. That's the only way that you're successful in the military. You got to work together. Communication is important. So we want to bring those groups together. So this is the first step towards bringing the doctors together, and then we'll be doing the ROTC together, and we'll start doing that next year. But he said, up here it says 15 years you've been doing this in the College of Osteopathic Medicine is this event. And I don't know if you saw it earlier, they're all showing each other their coins, right? They all have special coins like that. And it's very important to them. This is an important day for them in terms of, you're all great graduates of their college, but this is kind of like a dual thing, recognized earning your degree, which is a fantastic accomplishment, but then making the commitment to serve our country is, they would say the degree thing's more important, but I think this is just as important too. And so we've been doing this for 15 years, and the idea of having people coming back from the college and bearing witness to what the tradition and what the new traditions that you will all forge going forward. So let's see. I'm trying to say that I get graded on these things. I make sure I cover all those things that we go here and that. But I guess the most important thing I could say is thank you. Thank you for what you've done to make university a great university. For those out in the crowd, that we use this word preeminence, right? And people go like, what does that mean? No, but preeminence is a term that the idea is that we try to go further and to push ourselves beyond what we think is possible. And as Dr. Johnson was saying earlier, and that means to compare ourselves to the best universities in the country and the world. And graduates like you all are helping us become more preeminent all the time. Now, we have all these degrees at universities. You know, we have PhD, we have MD, DO, we have all those kinds of things. We give honorary degrees too. We give an honorary degree cannot be a degree that you actually award for credit, like things like Dr. Humane letters and things like that. But for all the loved ones here, I'm going to take a little liberty and I'm going to award you a degree today too, right? And it's the PhD, putting honey through, right? All the work that you've done, it takes a village, it takes the commitment, it takes the love, it takes the guidance, it takes the strength, because we can't do it alone. And so if we have to pomp and circumstance, I put on my regalia and award you all that, because I really want to also recognize that you are also very important people today. This wouldn't be possible without you. And I just want to thank you again on behalf of President Hanbury. And I look forward to, I've never done the coin thing before, so you got to be easy with me on it. I got to make sure I shake and turn the hand and like that. So, you know, help me kind of walk through that. We'll do that very well. But again, thank you so much for the opportunity to just recognize and be a part of this wonderful commissioning ceremony. And I wish you all well.
Thank you, Dr. Chennai. That was wonderful. Absolutely. Can't thank you, the parents, spouses, family members. You honor us almost as much as your graduates. Captain William B. Parker. It was so easy for Dr. Wallace and I to select our guest speaker today. Dr. Parker, I think, has attended every military commissioning ceremony that Dr. Wallace and I have put on for the last 15 years. He's always been in the audience. And so when our team, our steering team today, this year decided who to ask, it was a no-brainer. Captain William B. Parker, Dental Corps, United States Navy, retired, was born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. Following graduation from Hampton-Sydney College, he was awarded the Armed Forces Health Professions Navy Scholarship and attended dental school at the Virginia Commonwealth University. Our HPSP graduates. Upon graduation, he entered active duty as a lieutenant in the Dental Corps and was assigned to the Branch Dental Clinic, New London, Connecticut. Beautiful place. He was then assigned to the USS Fulton as assistant dental officer and division officer of the dental department. Did that mean you were the only dentist on the boat?
Well, there were two others I lost by default.
So immediately put in charge. Following his sea tour duty, he was selected for advanced special training in periodontics at the Naval Postgraduate Dental School, Bethesda, Maryland. Please welcome our guest speaker, Dr. William Parker.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Much appreciated, and much appreciate the invitation to speak here. It won't say a dream of mine, but it's certainly an honor that I've thought about, and you've made my dream come true. So thank you, Dr. Wallace, very much. Dr. Chennai, Dr. Johnson, Dean Grosby, Dean Rouse, Dr. Moon, thank you all for being here, and I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you. I think I'm better at giving lectures with PowerPoint, or maybe being in literature seminars with the residents. But a bit of advice I heard once is try and be bright, be brief, and be gone. Well, I promise you I'll be brief and I'll be gone, but to be bright, that remains to be seen. This afternoon, we're recognizing the physicians, dentists, optometrists, and clinical psychologists who are recipients of the Armed Forces Health Profession Scholarship, be entering the Army, Navy, or Air Force. This program started in 1972, so the program is 50 years old. It's been beneficial to the military. They get excellent physicians, dentists, nurses, psychologists, and it's also been great for the students. I first heard about this program when I was in my senior year of college at Hampton-Sydney, very small liberal arts college in the middle of Virginia. And the recruiters came to campus, and I went up to them and said, you know, gee, I'd really like to fly. Do you have a pilot program? And I was wearing glasses, and they said, nope, sorry, vision doesn't make it. And they said, but do you know about our health profession scholarship program? And this was after Vietnam, when military was not quite, in high regard at that point. And in my own mind, I said, oh, no, sir, could you please tell me about your scholarship program? And the rest is kind of history. To me at that time, it was a business decision. The Navy was going to pay for 4 years of dental school. Where do I sign? I thought I would do 4 years and get out. I spent a lot longer than that in the Navy because I really enjoyed the camaraderie, the training opportunities, the practice experience, the travel, and the overall quality of life. My family and I enjoyed that for a long time. The simplistic way of putting it is that the Navy kept giving me good jobs in good places with good people. You'll have the opportunities to go to a variety of different places and practice in a variety of different environments. For those going to the Navy, you might be stationed on a ship. I would urge you to embrace this opportunity to experience something truly unique. The Navy really is a self-contained floating city. Go out of your way to engage with the line officers. Those are the ones that drive the ships. They really appreciate the value the medical and dental personnel bring to the ship. You are the hospital and the medical clinic for the entire floating city. The line officers really appreciate it when you're showing interest in what they're doing, and they most likely be willing to take you places you would have never seen on the ship. You might go into the high-tech Combat Information Center, be up on the bridge when they're going through maneuvers within the convoy that you might be steaming in, and down in the engine room, where few people really want to go, but it's a fascinating place. For those of you going to the Air Force, if you're assigned to an Operation Readiness Squadron, if you show interest in what the line officers are doing, you could very well earn yourself the ride in the back seat of a jet, which would be the ride of a lifetime. On board ships, the medical facilities are robust, although compact. You would have an operating room, you would have wards, laboratory, pharmacy, x-ray facilities. My ship had a 5-chair dental clinic, 3 dental officers. The ships also have a miniature emergency room, if you will. They're called battle dressing stations. And the battle dressing stations are usually 2 out of them. Sick bay, the main medical, is in the center of the ship where it's more stable. And then they have these battle dressing stations in the aft and in the bow and the aft part of the ship in case the main sick bay gets hit by whatever. When you go to general quarters, these are usually manned by corpsmen and scarily enough dentists. However, they send us to casualty care training and whatnot, where in these battle dressing stations, we can do fluid resuscitation, burn, bandaging, splitting, burn management, that type of thing. Kind of things that we've never gotten to do in a private practice. You'll have a diverse patient population, and this population is exposed to a variety of different environments with different concerns. You'll have hard hat and scuba divers. You'll have pilots, paratroopers, Army, Marine, infantrymen, submariners, special forces, just to name a few. These patients face unique physical and psychological challenges, and the military provides you with unique training to meet their needs. Your patients will be from diverse racial, ethnic, and cultures with various backgrounds from around the United States and Puerto Rico. I think you'll come to admire and respect the work ethic of these soldiers, sailors, and Marines, their devotion to duty that these men and women have, and realize how much they deserve and appreciate the very best that you can provide for them, from routine preventive care to treating their illnesses and their diseases. You'll generally find that you can treat patients the way they need to be treated, and you'll have the resources to back you up to do that. Treatment will be based on your professional determination and not on insurance rules and regulations and that type of thing. You'll have the facilities to support and provide world-class medicine and dentistry in a variety of different environments, sometimes in a world-class hospital, and other times, and should we say more of an austere thing, like perhaps a field hospital with the Marines. The phrase, "the past is prelude to the future," comes to mind when I was with the commander of the Pacific Fleet and their medical office. This was when the original SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, came up out of China, as this one did, and that arose in 2004. And at that time, the cases we were seeing were similar to the SARS-CoV-2, severe respiratory issues, pneumonia, fluid filled with lungs, high death rate. And our concern with this was spread to the sailors and the officers on the ships. And how would we manage this if this were to come to pass? It was very impressive to see the resources that the commander of the Pacific Fleet mustered and put into place for that. One of the planning sessions I went to, they had the 4-star commander of the Pacific Fleet, his deputy commander of the 3-star, about a half a dozen 1- and 2-star admirals, members of the Pacific Fleet medical community, all sitting around for almost an entire day, wargaming and planning what would be done. Had to plan for how to deal with infected ships, had to plan for respirators to be medevaced or be delivered by air to the ships without medical facilities, how to plan for plastic and duct tape to try and create isolation wards on the ship. We were really thought that was going to turn into the worldwide pandemic. But fortunately it kind of burned itself out and we didn't face that until years later. And as I was kind of thinking about this, I said, no, I doubt if they have any of those things we war gamed back in that time. They're lost somewhere in the archives. Most likely you won't be assigned or stationed in your hometown, but I think almost everywhere you were stationed will be in a similar situation. Everyone will be in the same situation. With everybody usually being away from home, you'll find that you make friends quickly. You have a strong commitment from the Army, Navy, and Air Force to provide family services for people that are serving away from home, perhaps for the first time in their lives. You'll find that you form friends quickly and that there's an immediate sense of belonging. Almost everyone is away from home and you learn to rely on each other. If trouble does occur and a crisis arises, I can tell you from our personal experience that Office of Child Care, babysitting appear, plenty of food appears, the commanding officer and their spouse may appear to cut through any red tape or remove any bureaucratic roadblocks that are preventing you or your family from getting the care and the help that they need. If you're assigned to a duty station overseas, I'd urge you to embrace that. Take the opportunity to travel around the area, learn some of the language, be prepared to host various friends and family that all of a sudden see a free vacation over in Europe somewhere with you. You'll become a tour guide and you'll find you have a various, when we were in Naples, we had a schedule just to work into a tour. Okay, we're going to drive you up here. We're going to go to the Vatican. We're going to go to the Colosseum. We're going to go to the Chiesa de Cappuccini to see the ossuary there. And we kind of got that down pretty well. Our parents and friends, siblings certainly took advantage of visiting various locations during our time in the Navy, especially for the tours in Naples and Pearl Harbor. New England, they weren't too keen on, but Naples and Pearl Harbor, that was a real popular one. My son at the time was in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade while we were in Europe. He still has memories of chasing pigeons around the various piazzas all over the cities in Europe that we visited. He still pretends to be upset that he got to see only 2 of the Pietà statues that Michelangelo carved. I didn't realize at the time until I went over there that he carved 3 statues, and Matt is still pretending to be upset. Well, we got to see 2 of them. I just got to see 3. The others are in St. Peter's, but the main one is in St. Peter's Basilica. The other's in Florence, and the other one is in Milan, just for a bit of trivia. Shortly before leaving the Navy in 2007 to start here at NSU, Fran and I had the opportunity while we were in Pearl Harbor to attend a social function aboard a Russian ship that was docked at the Pearl Harbor Navy base. This was in things after the Cold War when things were kind of thawing out and relations were coming a little bit more friendly. However, Fran and I grew up during the Cold War and we remember the times of mutually assured destruction and that type of thing. And it was somewhat a strange feeling being hosted on this Russian ship. They had the Russian band playing various patriotic American tunes and popular American pop tunes and whatnot. Drinking their vodka, listening to this going on was even more bizarre because the ship we were on was an anti-submarine warfare ship and there are 2 U.S. nuclear submarines tied up on the pier adjacent to the ship. With the opportunity to travel and live in different parts of the U.S. and overseas to provide care for patients in a variety of settings, you'll have experience that will last you a lifetime. And hopefully the gratification of knowing that you have supported the men and women who put themselves in harm's way through their commitment and devotion to duty. I wish you the best in your career and leave you with a traditional Navy saying of may you have fair winds and following seas. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. That was wonderful. We are incredibly proud of our military graduates. What does it mean to be a commissioned officer? An officer is a member of a military or naval service who holds a position of responsibility. Commissioned officers derive authority directly from a sovereign power, and as such, hold a commission charging them with the duties and responsibilities of a specific office or position. Commissioned officers are the only persons in a military environment able to exercise command over a military unit or entity. Nova Southeastern University College of Osteopathic Medicine established the commissioning ceremony in 2005 to honor and showcase support for our graduates who will be doing medical tours of duty in the armed forces. This year, 2022, is our inaugural joint HPD commissioning ceremony that honors and showcases NSU students whom receive the Health Profession Scholarship Program from our clinical psychology, optometry, dental, allopathic, and osteopathic medical colleges. As such, I would like our graduates to stand, and I will administer the oath of office. Please raise your right hand. We're going to have you turn so that the folks watching online can see you. Turn 180, about face. Repeat after me. I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
Of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. You may be seated. Let's give them a big round of applause. We're now going to proceed with one of our favorite parts of the commissioning ceremony, and that is pinning of their 03 rank. They're going to get paid a little more now that they're going out into the field. We're going to bring up each candidate that's present, and they have already assigned at least two family members to come forward. I think we limited it to 2. First, we will pin the graduates from the College of Osteopathic Medicine. Colton Beal, United States Army, please come forward, and your family. And you can begin pinning immediately. Colton, where is your first duty station?
Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. All right. So we got friends in Texas. Who's here with you, Colton?
This is my wife, Carly, and this is my father, Brad.
All right, let's give them a round of applause. The photographer will be right there. So once we clap, take a look so he can get a super shot. Mary Clark, United States Navy. Who's here with you, Mary?
My mother, Donna, my father, Kevin, and my husband, Edward.
And where is your first duty station?
Naval Medical Center, Portsmouth, in Norfolk or Portsmouth, Virginia.
Outstanding.
No.
Now you know why we put 2 hours for the ceremony. We go slow on this for a reason. Big round of applause. Perfect. Thank you. Marcus Clavijo Fernandez, United States Navy. Who's pinning you, Marcos?
My best friend, Dr. Tony Schweitzer.
Dr. Tony Schweitzer, one of our graduates. Good pick. Oh, certainly.
See that one back later?
Sorry.
Camera. Big round of applause. Tony worked part-time during medical school in a way that so many of our students do. He was our AV technician part-time. So big round of applause for Tony. Albert Dazan, United States Air Force. Where are you going, Albert?
Biloxi, Mississippi, Keesler Air Force Base.
Keesler, fantastic. And who's here with you today?
My mom and my dad.
We asked Albert who's going to pin you, and his mom said, I am. There you go. Outstanding. Big round of applause. Carly Kendall, United States Air Force. Hi, Carly. Who's here with you today?
My mom, Debbie, and my dad, Randy.
All right. And where are you going, Carly?
I'm headed to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
Very nice. Huge base. Research, Air Force research base. Very exciting. Big round of applause. Lena Nowacki, United States Army. Where are you heading, Lena?
I am going to Womack Army Medical Center, which is in Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And who's here with you today?
It's my mom and dad, Kathy and Stanley.
Wonderful. Perfect. Big round of applause. Chris Soha, United States Navy. Hi, Chris.
I'm with my mom and my dad, and my brother's back there. Love you.
Your first duty station?
I'm gonna be at Naval Air Station, Jacksonville, Florida.
All right, Florida boy, that's great.
That's where he lives.
Oh. Wow. This is the
We're
guy you
both,
want to
so
get to
we-
know. He's got pull. Gets to go home to Jacksonville. Okay, that's fine. He's already got his rank.
We're Polish and it would be.
Big round of applause. That was our College of Osteopathic Medicine. Our next college will be the College of Dental Medicine. Michael Hogriff. Not here with us today. Dana Prada Brana. Yay. Welcome, Dana. Who's here with you today? Very nice. And your first duty station?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia. Fantastic. Round of applause. Lauren Rentz. Not here today. Our next graduate will be from the College of Optometric Medicine, the College of Optometry. Connor Morris, United States Army. Hey, Connor. Who's here with you today?
My wife Ariel
All right. And where are you going, Connor?
and El Paso, Texas, Fort Bliss.
Fort Bliss, Paso, Texas. Fantastic. Thank you. From the College of Allopathic Medicine, Haley Ernlich, United States Air Force. Hi, Haley. Who's here with you?
My parents and
I'm headed to Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Very nice.
I have a buddy up there already.
They got the best indoor pool in the military. I was there as a 1-year-old. 64 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very famous place. Three officers could not be here today, so I'd like to mention them and thank them like you all for your service. Kimberly Savoy McHugh, United States Navy. Jessica Dow, United States Army. And Sahar Norila, United States Navy. Let's give everybody a round of applause. So certainly Dr. Shania hinted a little bit about something we're also equally excited about that we do in this ceremony, and it's an incredible military tradition. Dr. Elaine Wallace, Dean of the Dr. Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine, and my wonderful boss, has helped us keep this rich military event as part of our program. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dean Wallace to give us all a history of the Challenge Corps.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. For several years, we have offered military physician graduates a challenge coin. There are many examples of traditions that build camaraderie in the military, but few are as well respected as the practice of carrying a challenge coin, a small medallion or token that signifies a person is a member of an organization. The coin is given to our military graduates by the College of Osteopathic Medicine. It is a large and beautiful gold coin and is embossed with all of the military branches, insignias, surrounded in our college by the central DO impression. Even though challenge coins have broken into civilian population, there's still a bit of a mystery for those outside of the armed forces. It is nearly impossible to definitely know why and where this tradition of challenge coins began. But one thing is certain, coins and military service go back a lot farther than our modern age. One of the earliest known examples of an enlisted soldier being monetarily rewarded for valor took place in ancient Rome. If a soldier performed well in battle that day, he would receive his typical day's pay and a separate coin as a bonus. Some accounts say that the coin was specially minted with a mark of the legion from which it came, prompting some to hold on to their coins as a memento rather than spending them. Today, the use of coins in the military is much more nuanced. While many coins are still handed out as tokens of appreciation for a job that is well done, especially for those serving as part of a military operation, some administrators exchange them almost like business cards or autographs that they can add to a collection. The challenge coin given to our military physicians are treasured such that several other NSU professional deans have also added their own challenge coins to be given out to their military graduates. The challenge coin exemplifies the strong pride and respect that we have for our graduates' sacrifice to service and their commitment to serve their college, their profession, and the United States of America. Johnson?
Thank you, Dr. Wallace. Yeah, Dr. Shania. Thank you, Dr. Wallace. So I hope you're starting to feel what we feel, just incredible pride. President Hanbury's created a presidential coin that you'll be accepting, each of you will be accepting from Dr. Shania. We're then going to have each dean follow, shake your hands, and give their respective challenge coin to each of you by college. So you will all, I think you stay seated. I think that'll work. Where's Matt? Just keep them. You want to stand them? Okay, sounds good. Dr. Shania?
Dr. Grosby, we'd like you to shake the hand of all the graduates. Dr. Grosby is the Dean of the Center for Psychological Studies, and we'll have her first graduate here next year. Big round of applause, everyone. On behalf of the NSU Military Affairs Office and the Nova Southeastern University Health Professions Division and President George Hanberry, thank you for attending our ceremony this afternoon. Before we close, I would like to recognize our steering committee for this year's event. President George Hanberry, Terry Malarkey, Chief of Staff, Matt Chenworth, Senior Director of Military Affairs. Matt. Manel St. Hilar from my campus in Tampa. She's offline with Larry Letty, our IT specialist, who've done all the online filming of today's event. Manel, we love you. And we love you too, Larry. Christina Manus, Administrative Assistant to the Office of the President. Christina? Behind the double doors. Second Lieutenant Kelly Callahan, honor graduate, Army-Rotc inaugural class of 22, one of our own new ROTC graduates. Kelly's in the back. Thank you for your service, Kelly. And finally, all the staff members and students who were behind the scenes helping make this event possible. This concludes our ceremony, and we thank you all for attending. There is no one downstairs because we got you all upstairs, but I was going to ask them to come up and join us for refreshments. I want to make one comment. Please stop by and see our Military Resource Center on the first floor. You will see why I say we're one of the top military-friendly universities in America or the world. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.